your January 17th, 2020 daily tarot reading. In this reading, I'm picking up on the overall energy that January 17th will be bringing us. And as always, let's look into the energy and see what we will be faced with. January 17th, what is this energy all about? Let's see. All right. And so we have the Nine of Swords, we have the Ten of Swords in reverse, and we have the Queen of Cups. All right. So a lot on our mind and dealing with our emotions today. All right. And so this is something. Because I'm getting a lot from how she's looking at them and how she's looking at this situation. And let's start with the Nine of Swords, okay? The Nine of Swords is the nightmare card. It is the what the hell has been going on with my dreams? Why am I stressing like this? Why can't I get things out of my mind? It's like I'm just overthinking. Like I just can't shut them up. And when I say shut them up, I mean the thoughts. The Nine of Swords just wakes you up out of your sleep. You might not have been sleeping as well as you normally do during high energy times, like when we deal with those eclipses that we just went through. Sometimes it can knock your sleep out of whack. And as we know, when we don't get our proper rest, it can affect other facets of our life. And, you know, it goes on and on. But the Nine of Swords period is saying anything that keeps you up at night, anything that stresses you out is taking up too much of your energy space within your body. Whenever we have a thought that is stressing us out and we can't get it out of our head, no, we're giving it too much energy. And it can be easier said than done, because when somebody says something mean or hurts your feelings, or maybe you're just stressed out with life or your finances, it's hard to turn those thoughts off. But with the Nine of Swords, it's saying you're going to have to find a way, whether that's listening to frequency music when you go to sleep. I always, a lot of times, listen to white noise, or I'll listen to certain frequencies to that remove negative energy. Like literally, you can type them in on YouTube. I'll have my little speaker, or you know, they say you should keep your phone away from you while you sleep. But whatever, you know, listening to that calming music as you sleep so that your subconscious can heal while you're not even aware of it healing, or being uplifted to a higher frequency. Because with the Nine of Swords card, it's just something is a headache, something is bothering you, something you just cannot seem to shake today. And that worry and fear does nothing but attract more worry and fear into your life. Know that. That's why when something happens that's negative to us, we have to find a way of facing it, realizing that just because that happened, it does not have to be my truth. I do not have to allow that negative something that somebody made me feel to keep dwelling in my body. It's taking up too much space, and you have to go. Negative thoughts, you have to go. And what I do is drown it out a lot of the times with, you know, Chris, you're doing an amazing job. You've come so far in your life. You are an amazing mother. You do so much, you know, and not to build my ego, but sometimes, hell, you just get into sad places, and sometimes you just don't feel good, and you have to be that higher voice to yourself to snap out of it. Because anybody can say, let's say you're dealing with weight issues and you're anorexic, and it doesn't matter how many people tell you you're skinny or that you look nice, until you believe it yourself, or start telling yourself that and believing it at a deep level, then it won't mean anything. All right. And the Ten of Swords in reverse is good, though, because it's saying that, yes, I might have these things that have been trying to bother me. And this happens a lot when we get too attached to things. Understand that we're spiritual beings having a human experience, like Gregory always says. So if that's the case, our spirit will still live on. I love my husband. I love my children. I love my mother. But I understand that I have to realize that they are also spiritual beings having a human experience, and this human experience doesn't last forever. Therefore, I have to teach my daughter, I have to love my husband, but I cannot be so attached to any of those things, people, or jobs, relationships, to where if I lose them, I lose myself. I cannot. And that's why you have to love in a detached manner sometimes. Not all the time. Enjoy loving your partner, enjoy loving your children, enjoy loving your job or whatever it is. But when you become so deeply involved that as soon as something goes wrong within the relationship, you're done. You're just dead. You're done. You don't want to do it anymore. You don't want to live. You don't want to go. We cannot attach ourselves because we can't control anybody but ourselves. And so the moment we attach too much to a situation, this is how we get into this energy. But the Ten of Swords is saying, even though you're acknowledging the problem today, you're not letting it overcome you. The Ten of Swords in reverse is like, I'm done with playing the victim. I know I deal with PTSD, or I know I've dealt with abandonment issues, or I know that I'm dealing with a loss or a death or something in my life, but I have to remember the good times. I have to build myself up emotionally to know that I am in spirit first. So the moment I let this earthly experience drag me down too much, anything can happen. Okay. And so the Ten of Swords is saying, find strength in knowing that you will not be the victim today. You will not be the person who feels bad and or is treated badly, because the Queen of Cups is here, saying that you can't be a victim if I'm your mother. I will always uplift you, and you are always going to be victorious within all things that you do, even if you lose at first, or even if you have to work through some really, really hard emotions. And trust me, the Queen of Cups is not saying don't feel. Okay, with living this spiritual experience, sometimes we get too caught up in, oh, stay positive, just stay positive. But that's fine. But you still have to feel the emotions. You got to work through that shit. You got to figure out what is working and what is not working in my life. But I am sick of being this person. I am sick of constantly getting screwed over. I am sick of finding abusive relationships. But if you're finding yourself in abusive relationship time and time again, or if you're finding yourself in places or situations that don't appreciate you, something in you is not appreciating you. Something in you is not acknowledging the growth that needs to happen. And maybe for some of you, it's saying yes too much when you need to say no. For some of you, it might be staying in a dark place that is uncomfortable, but you have gotten, let's say it together, comfortable in a very uncomfortable scenario in life, or you have gotten comfortable in a certain role in life that you like to play, and it's not healthy. The more we're pointing our fingers out at everybody else, mama, sister, brother, boss, we got to point that finger right back at ourselves. Why are you experiencing this? Because yes, some things are just part of life, but a lot of things that happen to us we attract and we agree to. Every relationship that has hurt you is something that you attracted and or agreed to. So you have to figure out why. Why did I agree to this? Why did I stay in this? Okay. And the Queen of Cups is saying, love yourself. Love yourself. And by loving yourself and being happy and doing the things that make you emotionally uplifted, you'll uplift the world. This is a day with the Queen of Cups to where she sees the sorrow of the world. She doesn't ignore the homeless person on the street. She doesn't act like world hunger doesn't exist. She acknowledges all these things, but she doesn't let it consume her body. She understands that the only way I can help and save the world and myself and my relationships is by being the best person I can be, which is by taking self-responsibility, emotional accountability. Is by staying calm in situations that most people would freak out in. I'm going to stay calm and look at this from a spiritual, empathetic perspective. But just because you have empathy for someone does not mean you have to feel bad for them. One of my good friends, we talked about this, about how we can have empathy for people, but we cannot feel bad for people, because the moment we start feeling bad for someone, it takes on energy within us. We feel so bad for them, we start feeling bad. So now we're making horrible decisions, thinking that we're helping people where we're really hurting them. So the Queen of Cups is saying, feel your emotions today, but don't let the negative emotions just drown you, because you are victorious. This Queen of Cups this is her. Like, she's looking back at her life. She's not separate from these people. She is these people. She is also the individuals in these cards. But she looks back and looks at how far she's come. She used to stress out when she didn't have money and instantly blame her mother for not going to college like she should have. But now she realizes that didn't really get me as far as I would like to in life. And the moment I start enjoying life and doing things that made me happy, getting out in sunlight, um, you know, maybe interacting with other people, finding the similarities within others instead of finding and nitpicking all of their problems. Because we can't nitpick everybody else's issues and think that we're just a-okay, because that is not the case most of the time. We all are spiritually growing. We all always have work to do. So if you find yourself picking other people apart, you're actually needing to, maybe look at yourself. Okay, because the Queen of Cups understands I've been in these places and therefore I don't judge these people. But now I'm at a healthy place of understanding I've been there. So let me help you so that you can get to this higher vibration that I've found in my life now, by not allowing things that I cannot control to get the best of me, by not allowing people to constantly backstab me, by trusting my intuition when my intuition told me the first time to not deal with that person again, and to love myself. And if other people don't know how to love me properly, I have to figure out first, am I loving me properly? Am I taking self-accountability and self-responsibility? Or am I just constantly picking apart everyone else? And then you get to these places to where you're just happy. And even if things come about, you can emotionally process them in a way to where it doesn't have to stay on your mind all day. Anything that is keeping you up at night is not a help, it's hurt. So the Queen of Cups, long story short, is shining her love over us with empathy and compassion. And this makes us very empathetic and very compassionate today. So I love this energy. I love the Queen of Cups. She's so psychic. She's so intuitive. She's so tapped in. All right. So I hope this helped in some way. Maybe reach out to a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces today, or connect with your higher intuitive place. Checking your throat chakra with all this blue. How do I speak? What is my story? Is it empowering or is it negative all the time? And really working on speaking nicely to ourselves, and realizing that if it's a conversation of, oh, I'm always broke, or I'm always like this, or I can't get over this, or I'm just made this way, that's not speaking from a healthy throat chakra. Okay, so I hope this helps you all. I love each and every one of you. I hope that you have an amazing day. If you ever need to get a private reading with me, you can do so by emailing me at crystalneath@gmail.com. Besides that, have a great one, and I will see you tomorrow.